There was a time in my life when I could have quit my full time 9 to 5 job and live comfortably off of the money I was making on the side with my semi passive income. So I had a YouTube channel I had been working on for a few years. It was mostly just a hobby, but at some point it garnered a lot of views and subscribers, and I monetized it. So it started making some money for me around the time when I had started working as a software developer. So I had two income sources, my 9 to 5 job and the YouTube channel. The money from either was not a lot, but it was enough to pay for my living expenses. So the YouTube channel on its own at some point was enough to pay for my living expenses like rent, food, entertainment, and so on. And yeah, during that period, if I wanted to, I could have easily quit my job without, risking, um, yeah, some financial disaster or catastrophe or something like that. But I did not quit my job. I didn't. I wrestled with the decision for a very long time, but I eventually didn't. And I still wonder to myself if the decision I made was the right one. And about 8 times out of 10, I tell myself, yes, I made the right decision. And I'm going to try to walk you through my thought process or what led me to not quit my 9 to 5 job. So, there are other variables at play in this decision. At the time when I was earning from my YouTube channel and from my job, I was actually working in another country as, um, I wouldn't say immigrant, I would say expatriate. So I was in Nigeria working as a software developer. I was on a work permit. I don't even know the exact details, but I understood that if I left my job at any time for any reason, my work permit would, uh, you know, essentially cease to apply, and I would have to leave Nigeria and go back to my country. And I wasn't ready to make that move yet, so I had to stick with the job. Another option could have been to try and juggle both at the same time, like to do my job and then maintain the YouTube channel on the side. I actually tried that and it wasn't possible for a few reasons. For one thing, Nigeria is very noisy, and when I was recording my videos, you will not believe this. It was difficult to have 10 uninterrupted minutes of me recording a 10-minute YouTube video. Either the lights will go off and then every neighbor will turn on their generator, and it's just going to be very noisy in the videos, or things will always happen. Think there's always something bad happening interrupting it, and then a video that was supposed to take an hour to record will end up taking 3 hours, and maybe sometimes even after those 3 hours I won't have a good video, a good enough video by my standards to post. So it was extremely frustrating, and at some point I feared that it might affect my productivity at work, and so I decided to just put a pause on it. And that's one reason for not quitting my 9 to 5. The other reason is, I don't know if I could have given this other reason enough weight or in the decision making process. But it's a very funny personal reason. So I'll take, I'm not a very, or driven person. I usually need some artificial structure, artificially imposed structure in my life. Structure in terms of having a fixed schedule that I have to strive to follow. 9 to 5, I know that I wake up at 7 o'clock, shower, mm, brush my teeth, have breakfast, and then at 9 o'clock I start working. Then by 5 o'clock I stop working and rest, and then maybe do some chores around the house. That structure, Monday to Friday, every week, month after month, year after year, that structure is important for me because if you take that away, I'll probably just be a couch potato. I feel embarrassed just saying this, but I am an introvert. I don't like going out. And I am not very, very driven. So it's possible that I would leave my 9 to 5 job and then, you know, I'll probably not translate that effort that I used to put in my actual job to my YouTube channel. And even if I did, I was going to control all the variables. I would pick when I want to work, what I want to work on. I would make so many decisions, like how many hours I want to work a day. I would, have to apply willpower on days when I didn't want to record any videos or stuff like that. And then I feared that this this lack of structure might overwhelm me, right? And then not only overwhelm, sometimes um one of the reasons I say I would like to have financial freedom, one of the reasons I could have told myself for wanting to have financial freedom was so that I can have the freedom to do anything I want anytime. And now I fear that that might actually be my undoing, right? If I can do anything I want at any time, then maybe I'll wake up and I'll not want to wake up from the bed. I'll not want to leave the bed. I'll just sit there, and before you know it, it will be evening. I would get nothing done, and I would just be lazy. And I will not be as productive as an individual as I would have been if I was actually working at a job. I mean, productive in terms of my general value that I add to the world. Now, that's a silly reason, right? Because I can also argue that if I work on a YouTube channel, the videos are going to impact so many people, maybe more people than the people that will be impacted my work at a 9 to 5 job. But yeah, that's possible. But I don't think I'll put as much effort in the videos as I used to put at my 9 to 5 job. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but um, when you force yourself to do things, when you really um, stick to a schedule and force yourself to do things, you do it even when you don't want to. And I feel like that makes you a little bit more productive. I know many motivational speakers will disagree. Yeah, but that's how I see it right now. Yeah, but so those are the two reasons. I didn't want to leave my 9 to 5 job because I was living in another country on a work permit, and leaving my 9 to 5 job would require me to go back to my country, and I didn't want to do that just yet. The second reason, I feared that I might lose um, some structure in my life if I left my 9 to 5 job. And I haven't even given all the reasons. There was also this fear that, I can leave my 9 to 5 job and then the very next week, the very next month, YouTube is going to take down my channel for one reason or another. It's going to demonetize my channel, and I'll be left stranded without experience to find another job, and then without an online following to leverage for personal side income. So these are the reasons. Today, picking my full time job over uh, the the YouTube channel, it has had lots of very significant positive impact. Yeah, I immigrated to Canada. I have a permanent residence now in Canada, which is a huge step for me. I don't think I could have had it if I stayed with my YouTube channel. I probably could have, yeah, but you'll never know, right? Yeah, and the other route of not having a 9 to 5 was had too many unpredictabilities, and I didn't like uncertainty, so I went with my 9 to 5. But right now, knowing all that I know and with the experience that I have, yes, if I have a chance to leave my 9 to 5, I'm definitely leaving it. Yeah, but until then, we'll just continue to grind. Thank you for listening. If you have any other personal experiences that you want to share regarding this, I would love to hear them. Ciao.